Is this the best value action camera on the market? No, it's not. It's really not. Before I get into the issues I had with the GoPro Hero 7 White and the things that drove me absolutely nuts, let's talk about the things I like about this camera. Don't worry, this won't take long. The build quality is excellent. The plastic feels tough, and in my tests it had no problem being thrown around the ice and snow. It's waterproof, shockproof, and it just feels really well built, with enough weight to not feel cheap, and it doesn't squeak or creak when you squeeze it. Video quality is decent. I don't really have any complaints at this price. In good light, the footage is very usable, and in low light, it's about what I expect for a tiny sensor camera like this one. It's not bad. Dynamic range is better than I expected for the bottom of the range GoPro, and the stabilization works really well. In fact, I would say the best thing about this camera is the stabilization. It does a great job at smoothing out vibrations, even quite severe ones, and it provides usable footage where any unstabilized camera just couldn't. It does slow-mo at 60 frames per second. I only use it at 60 FPS because 30 tends to look choppy. Before I got this camera, I was aware of all the negative press the Hero 7 White has been getting on YouTube, and I felt like it was just overblown, even trendy to bash this camera. It couldn't be that bad, could it? When I got it and set it up, I immediately thought, hey, this is actually pretty good. What's all the fuss about? The video quality is decent, the stabilization is very useful, the exterior build quality is excellent, and it's completely waterproof. I was ready to swim against the current and tell people it's a great camera. Then I started to use it every day, and that's when the trouble began. My main issue with this camera is reliability. Mine is really unstable. It'll just crash unexpectedly. The last time it happened, I couldn't even power off the device, and there's no way to remove the battery to manually reset it. Another issue is that the touchscreen becomes unresponsive sometimes. The GUI can sometimes be frustratingly slow or not detect my presses. The crashing has happened so often that I just can't rely on this camera at all. Anytime I take it out of my pocket to film something, there's probably about a 30% chance that something just won't work right. When it does work with some stability, the GUI is still slow to respond to commands when on certain pages. It feels kind of like the processor is not up to the task of operating a touchscreen interface or even just to record video. When pressing stop during a recording, the camera freezes for 3 to 4 seconds before it actually stops recording. I tried using a really fast memory card, and that didn't solve anything. Recently mine has started to lose its settings randomly, so I'll go to record something of interest, I'll pull it out of my pocket to record, but it wants me to go through the setting up the date and time process again, as if it's been factory reset. This happens every time I go for a day or two without using it. It just doesn't store that information. I've had GoPros before, and none of them were this unreliable. If it didn't look like a GoPro and come in a GoPro box from Amazon, I might actually think this is fake. When a brand new GoPro is less stable than my 4-year-old $40 action camera, something's just not right here. It's a shame this camera is so unstable because the image quality when it works is pretty good, and the stabilization is my favorite thing about it. It also feels great in the hand thanks to the nice solid material choices. But what good is an action camera that isn't reliable enough to capture action when you need it to? For me, this just isn't worth the money. You can get a much better experience for less cash. So I say, give this one a miss. I'm Roo, and that's my view on the GoPro Hero 7 White. If you had a different experience, or you had the same issues and found a solution, let me know in the comments and we can discuss it. Thanks for watching.